Hi everybody, yes, racing well and truly back, isn't it? 42 races we've had in just the last few days, and here to discuss all things racing is Darren Williams from Harness Racing New Zealand. And Darren, I guess on the outside it looks like things have gone pretty well, is that the case?
Yeah, I think so, Dave. A lot of horses around, which was really promising, perhaps more than we expected, which resulted in that additional meeting at Addington last Thursday. And like a really tremendous start with turnover right across the week, really good. Gross betting revenue really solid, in particular at Cambridge on Sunday, where the betting revenue was around 25%. So look, really a solid start. Turnover at Addington last week, just shy of 1.2 million on the Friday night. So terrific stuff. A lot of social media being produced by all of the clubs, which is putting us in a great place with interviews and everything else. So, from our point of view, things couldn't have been better in week one, and pleasantly surprised and pleased that we could get to that position.
And I guess I understand there's been some further good news today too, in terms of the junior drivers, which had been cancelled, that it's going to be reinstated. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right, Dave. The New Zealand Junior Drivers' Championship was parked by the HRNZ board based on a number of issues around COVID, finances in particular. A very hard decision for the board to make, difficult decision, but as opposed to sort of taking it on the chin, the junior driver group, headed by Alicia Harrison and with a lot of assistance from Luke Whitaker, Sheree Tomlinson, Kieran Tomlinson, a lot of other junior drivers, looked at it and tried to come up with a plan that they could reinstate that. They got a lot of support from the industry, a lot of people out there making donations to the cause, and the HRNZ board considered a proposal from Alicia in particular last week, and we're pleased to give that the green light and go ahead and go along that path. So the Junior Drivers' Champs will actually be held at Addington Raceway on Friday the 24th and Sunday the 26th of July, where hopefully we find a champion that can head to an Australasian Champs. So look, really positive, great work by the juniors, and HRNZ are pleased to be able to get that back on track with them and congratulate them for the proactive nature they went about things.
Would that format be similar to previous years, or do you have to make changes because of what's happened in the last month or so?
I think it'll be pretty similar, Dave. We've got to work through the conditions. The main thing was to get it up and running, and we'll work through a set of conditions. The aim is to try and host as many as 6 races over that weekend if we can. It's a wee bit of a challenge, but we're hopeful that we can get there, and that'll be really good.
What's your thoughts around what's going to happen in the next few weeks in terms of owners coming back on track and then ultimately the public coming back on track?
Yeah, really exciting, Dave. We have been working closely with WorkSafe, obviously, and those other government departments with the assistance of a liaison from Rita, who have been really supportive during this process, WorkSafe, and as I say, the other government departments to get us to a position. We've been operating under the guise of a workplace. That's what we've been doing, given that we've been running public events. So we don't fall in the retail category. We don't fall in the public gathering category. We fall in the public event category. So operating as a workplace has meant that we've been able to get up and running quicker than we perhaps would have otherwise. The work we've been advocating on the industry's behalf is to get owners on course. The owners are the people that are paying the bills and paying for the horses and their property, and very mindful and feel the frustration that they've had in this time. So we've been working really hard to make that happen, and I'm really pleased to announce that from this Friday, owners will be able to be at race meetings. Also be able to be at workouts and trials and go and look at their horses and training on training properties or training establishments. So it's a massive step forward. It's on the basis that those people are now included as part of that workplace bubble on the advice from WorkSafe. And it's just a huge step forward. There'll be a number of other changes to the order and direction that we're operating under, which allowed participants to travel between islands and things like that will relieve a wee bit of the pressure, Dave, on the restrictions that had been in place. So it's been a bit of a battle to get here. It's not easy. The government departments are working with a huge number of industries, not just racing, and we've been very mindful of who pays the bills and as quickly as we can get there. I mean, if we have only been operating for 1 week's race meetings and have owners there in week 2, that's far and away where we thought we might be at the start of this process. So we're pleased that we're getting there.
And what does logic tell you about when the public will follow suit, if you like?
Well, that's $1 million question, I guess. When we started this process, if you like, we were told that we could expect to be public excluded until the end of September. It certainly doesn't feel anything like that, and it feels like it's relatively close. But obviously, we just need to go through that process. We're very similar to a Super Rugby game. If there was a Super Rugby game on at the moment, the public would be excluded. But I think we all get the feeling that it's coming quicker than later. What it will look like at level 1, we just need to see what the government advise us on that and how quickly we can allow the public to be there. But we think we're pretty close.
Well, it seems like things are moving fast on a number of fronts, and it's all pretty encouraging. Darren Williams, thank you very much for your time. We look forward to talking to you in the next week or so. So thanks very much for your time.